everybody. I was fumbling through the internet. I was watching a guy named Rob Scallon. He went to a church, met a guy talking about their pipe organ and how it was a big huge building. Then he made another video and connected it with MIDI, started playing a bunch of songs. And then watching through a couple of his videos, he met up with Carolina, and I think her last name is...
How do you pronounce your last name? Sorry.
Carolina Ike.
Carolina Ike?
Yeah.
She plays the Theremin. So I started watching a couple of her videos, and then I came to my marquee, figured I'd play around the Theremin, and then it reminded me, no one has ever done a video about the sound shaper that a lot of the newer Lowreys have. So over the last few months I've been tinkering but never made the video, so here I am in the middle of this coronavirus stupidity and decided I'll go ahead and make a video. The sound shaper has three settings: an attack, which is listed on the top, a decay in the middle, and then a release at the bottom. To get to it, you would select one of your Genius sounds or one of your orchestral sounds, solo sounds. Works also in the tabs. Anything that brings up your instrument here, and then you hit the edit button. And you get the edit sounds display, which shows your sound position, in this case Orc 2, bells, what octave, vibe delay, vibe rate, vibe depth, and then your sustain. You hit forward, you're now in the sound shaper. Or you can go to your feature pages and scroll through until you find sound shaper. On mine it's page 4, and then I can select what position I want to edit. So I'm on Orc 1, which is here, and that is my Theremin. The neat thing about the sound shaper is it changes obviously the attack, the decay, and the release. It depends on what voice you have selected, because the same settings do different things between my Theremin, between the bells, between a piano and a guitar. So we have to pay attention to what voice we have and what we're doing with it, and you'll get different sounds. The Theremin, all the sounds are preset so that the attack, the decay, and the release are operating the way the selected voice is intended to, so the 50 is the middle ground. That's the preset position. So if I want more of something less of something, usually you can just go 10 points up or down to make the change. So for the Theremin, the attack is the beginning part of the sound. The decay is the sound after the attack but before the release. And the release is the sound after you release your key. So in this case, if I change my attack to something lower than 50, I'm going to go down to 25. I can hear a little bit more of a pop than you probably can on the camera. Wow, this is acting weird. So there's really not much of a change between position or setting 1 and setting 50. Tap both keys together, it resets it. The pop is gone. Now if I increase it, I'm going to go up to 75. It comes in a little slower. Let's try 85. Comes in a lot slower. Let's go up to 100. So that's your attack. The decay, for example, it's mostly for a striked instrument. On the Theremin, it really doesn't have much of an effect, if any, because it is a constant sound instrument. I'm at position 100. I'm going to go to setting 0. There's no change. So I'm thinking the decay has no application with the Theremin voice. The release is what happens when I lift my finger off the key. If I go down to 25, I hear a little bit of a pop. If I go down to 0, I hear a lot of a pop. If I go to 100, it acts like a decay, but it works off of the release, and it's still going. So I'm going to turn this down to about 75. I get a nice sustain out of it. Let's go up to 85. Pretty cool. What happens if you combine that with the attack? I'm going to put 100% attack on. Get a very gorgeous, ethereal, slow combination of notes, and it's really pretty, especially if you're using choir voices or other organ sounds. If we go to the bells, if I hold the note, you still have a sustain. If I hit the note, I get the exact same thing. So I've been tinkering. The only thing that has an effect here seems to be the attack, which I'm guessing is how hard you hit it. It seems to fade in versus the decay, which is the sound between the strike and the release, is crazy. I'm at setting 100, and I pretty much have a constant tone of the bell. As soon as I release, it goes away with a minor sustain. The release had no effect. Doesn't matter if it was 0 or 100. It had the same amount of release sustain that must be programmed into the voice. That was 100. This is 0. So the different settings do different things on different voices. If I go to the piano, pretty much had the same thing as the bell. The attack kind of smoothed out the initial attack. The decay made no change, and the release made no change. It's working the way a piano's supposed to work. The guitar, I don't remember what I did, so let's start just 50 all the way down. Hold it down, I still hear the note, I get a decay, I release, it goes away. Let's increase the attack to 75. Don't hear much difference. 100. You hear it's not so much a pluck as it is a ramp. The decay, put that up to 75. I have a much more sustained note, and then it decays out, so it works the same as the bells. The release, this is 75. I get a longer release. This is 100. So I'm going to put the decay to 100. And I'm going to put the attack to 100. I have it on solo too, so I'm not getting polyphonic music. So it works kind of like the Theremin if I had it on polyphonic. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Sound 126. I'm going to put 126 into ORC 1. I'm going to edit to 100 on all of them. Switch over to that. See what happens.